Good evening, everybody, for episode number 4 of A Matter of Life and Death. And actually, this time I managed to spell properly on Twitch because when I exported the video, there was typos and nobody told me. But welcome, everybody.
I didn't have the heart.
You didn't have the heart. Thank you, Chris. It is much appreciated. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my fantastic players, Chris, Katie, Cross, and Smirk. Say hello.
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 And thank you, Cross. Thank you for that. Just
Start off with a bang. Let's
start out
go.
with a bang. Yes, indeed. Right. So we left last week with a bit of a weird plan going on. So since there are a couple of the members of the Slaughterhouse gang basically hunting down people with cybernetic limbs, Jakob decided, well, why not? I will act as a bait and I'm gonna have my arm entirely replaced. So I can act, hey, look at me, I have a arm, come and fetch me so we can kill you, basically. That type of thing. And not only that, of course, the idea, as usual, came from our fantastic Brandon. That usually thinks outside the box and says, oh, I'll do the surgery at this point. So, yeah, that's gonna go well. But anyway, welcome everybody once again, and we shall start immediately. The group is already reunited just before going for this um, crazy idea. There is actually a place in town in the medical center that is one of the most high refined surgery clinic for this type of operation and surgeries. So you have two choices, Brandon. You either can perform the surgery by yourself in one of these privately rented room for surgery in this medical center, or you could always ask the help of Omega for doing this.
We're just going to use an alley, a dirty alley.
A dirty alley, like the ones you don't,
No,
don't
thank
have to,
you.
the ones you don't have to go if you want to lose a kidney, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay, fantastic. So it is completely up to you at this point, Brandon, which way you want to go for.
Choose carefully.
Well, I would turn to Jakob, and I'd pose the question to Jakob. Which option does he want? Does he trust me or a mega corporation that owns him?
Wow.
There are pros and cons on both things, of course. So the
Aye.
pros of being inside Omega is that I will say a 99% success rate in everything they've been doing, because of course they've been doing this for forever. And also the pro side is that it is all internal. But the con side is that the news of you getting this prosthetic doesn't go into the circuit. Whilst if you do a surgery into the medical center, the arm you're getting replaced with goes into register because it has to be registered. And in that case, it works better as a bait in case the people
How
that
to
are...
be the best lure.
Better
Yes.
to do it through official channels then, I guess.
Yes. The only problem on that is, of course, whenever you do that, of course, it's not a problem. Is Brandon has to do the surgery. He's going to be anyway assisted by basic staff inside the medical center. But at the same time, you need to provide your details, including where do you live. That's the only
Well,
thing.
both of us.
Well, no, you as a patient.
Uh-huh.
which of course.
Well, I live in a crap hole in like the outside of town, so it's fine. I mean, officially that's where I live,
Yes. Okay. So
so
you need to
that's
be
fine.
aware
We
that
can do that.
you need to be aware that probably you will have to provide not a fake address, but maybe not the address where the company you work for actually is as well. So that could be, and you need to be aware, of course, if you give that address, if you want to get the bait on, you need to actually be there. But that's down the line. Whatever.
I'm getting nervous for Jakob.
Everybody's
Okay,
getting nervous,
so
except Jakob is
so
excited.
and disregarding Omega entirely here,
hmm
what you need to bear in mind is that Jakob didn't have a job
Okay.
just before
Yeah.
Omega, so he doesn't need to give a work address.
No.
He doesn't need. He can give his old home address because he's got fancy new digs at Omega,
Yes.
and all of his stuff, all of the important stuff, is going to be at Omega.
Precisely.
So that's not a problem. The only problem would be is if he ended up homeless after Omega. Crap.
Yeah, but then you'd have a cool cybernetic arm at least to
Yeah.
sell to meet the bills.
Skills to pay the bills.
How much is it to keep my old arm on ice again?
We can work out something on that. Keeping on ice your old arm.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
Well,
there
we
was
should
a
still
pay.
do it at the medical center then, I think.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. I was just giving you all the possible options, pros and cons about everything.
Like
Brandon.
I've known Brandon slightly longer, so I trust him slightly more.
Okay.
Brandon would say that he has one condition though.
hmm
What's the condition?
I need to know your favorite color.
Oh, wow.
Fuck you, that's what.
Is that the legitimate answer he gets?
Yeah?
Okay.
Then
Fuck
you'll need
you
to get
is like
surgery,
rainbows.
Jerome.
Sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon will not do the surgery unless he knows what your favorite color is.
It's only a color. You can even lie if you want to lie. We are having problem with Discord now. It's great. 1 second. Hello, hello. Testing, testing.
Yeah, I think Discord.
Yeah, Discord's paused again.
Discord, yeah, it's
If you are having problems, just yes, it's spasming again. Today is not a good day. Wow, tonight it is borked. Yes,
Yeah.
seems okay now. So
testing.
Got it. It's gone green again.
Testicles, 1, 2.
testicle 1, 2. Yes. Right.
Okay,
So,
things are working.
so a color is only
I said fine then, it's red.
is red. Okay.
Do I believe him?
You are assuming at this point that it's probably yes, because the alternative is probably not gonna trust Omega. So he needs he wants the arm. He needs to be done by you to be credible.
I swear to God, if he makes the arm red.
Well, synth skin can always cover that. But I mean, crimson chrome, it is fantastic. Anyway, so you can
Okay.
basically become C3PO from the latest movie with a
I was just about to say, I don't
Exactly.
like the 3PO vibe there.
C3PO vibe over there. So, are we going for this operation then? Everybody says okay.
I would hope so.
So, you book the surgery. All expenses being paid by basically your account, because it can't be Omega's account at the moment, but you get, of course, refunds and everything else afterwards for any expenses, let's call them this way. You book your room, Brandon, and you do a first initial inspection of equipment and everything else, and you realize that it is very high tech. Probably the best quality of equipment you can actually find for the money. The and Discord is buzzing again, I guess. Today. Today is not a good day. Right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Test to test. Again goes red. God almighty today. We need to find a different ways of doing this, probably. Maybe using the internal ones. Okay, let's retry. Patience, no, is working out. I do apologize, guys, for this. It's just it is something that is not under my control.
Discord's just being Discord.
Yes, Discord being Discord. Let's try again. Okay, I see that it's green now. Let's hope it stays like that.
Mine's yellow.
Yeah. But yellow, you can still hear me. So
Yeah.
So, Brandon, you do the first inspection, and as I was saying, the equipment is very high tech. Everything seems quite expensive in here in terms of equipment you can get access to. It is, of course, machinery and tools you are familiar with. There's nothing utterly different from the things you remember. Basically, just better models. At the reception, you of course being asked for your name of the patient, and sort of doing a quick screening of your patient for their record. So how do you fill it in?
I fill in mine completely legitimately with my credentials and name and my residency.
Okay.
And then I hand over the paperwork to Jakob for his side so he can fill it out himself.
Yeah, it is once again is a pretty standard module. Name, address, known allergies, any ongoing illness or other things. Do you use any drugs? Do you use any pharmaceutical medicines or whatever? So it is pretty standard form for you to fill in. Are you doing it honestly in referring to the old address as well? Again, Discord. God almighty tonight.
What is even going on with Discord right now?
Yeah, I don't understand. Do you want guys to try and use the internal one of Roll20?
Worth a crack.
1 second. Okay.
I need to figure out the settings for this now.
I think
Same.
it's gonna be simply for me is just I want to broadcast video and voice. I want to receive from others video and voice. So you should be able to hear me in double probably. Testing. Maybe not, maybe yes.
Right. Can you hear me in Roll20?
It's
Yes.
not even picking up my input or output on
Yeah, it's not picking
my
mine up
screen.
either.
I was
got
hearing
yours in Roll20, Chris.
I was hearing Smirk.
I'm not hearing anybody.
I hear you.
Hello?
1 second.
Yeah.
So I can hear somebody's typing.
Like,
Yeah, I can hear people in roll 20. I'm
Yes,
just
I can hear. I can
Yeah,
hear
I
us,
can't.
chatting here.
Chris, talk. Chris is not here.
Cool. That's awesome. Sorry, everyone on stream.
I do apologize, guys. It's something that we can't control,
Can't
I'm
hear what,
afraid.
Tino?
No.
I just realised I'm actually listening to you guys through the fucking roll
Okay.
thing. not
So I
actually
can hear
Discord.
Chris, I can
So
hear
everybody-
Katie, I can hear Smirk. The only
I
one missing is
disconnected from Discord, so I
is
didn't
Cross.
get that crossover. It'd do my head in.
So for Cross,
But this one doesn't have chat to speak. Like key to speak, I don't think.
you're playing Tom Cruise.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So the only one we can't
Okay,
hear at
I'm
the
going to
moment is
apologize in
Cross.
advance, but I am getting a cold. I've just tried to turn off my mic and it's not allowing me to. So sorry in advance. I will move away from my face.
If Cross can't work with it, we just have to return to the previous setting. Oh god, I do apologize, guys. Really, today it is not a good day for technology.
No, it seems to just be us three.
She's probably resetting, exiting, and maybe re-entering.
Yeah, down detectors. Just had a spike in reports.
Unbelievable tonight. At least I sorted out the frames drop. Okay. No, I think probably cross terminal is not gonna work. I'm gonna retry with Discord because if cross can't, the voice is green at the moment, so let's retry all to rejoin in Discord as well.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hello?
Hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh,
Anybody at all?
yes, we have.
Oh, I can
We have a
hear
cross
Cross.
terminal.
Hello?
I
We
can
have a
hear Cross in roll 20.
Yay! Okay.
I can't hear you in roll 20 though, watching.
You should be able to now. Yes? No? Can you now? Can you hear me now?
There we go.
I can hear you. Can you guys
Okay.
hear me at all?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you. Thank God for that.
Well, this is going well.
Today is going very well.
Nobody panic!
We are talking about doing like complicated surgery and we can't operate a voice communication program. That's fantastic. Right.
I am nervous for Jakob, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very nervous for Jakob as well now.
I'm extremely nervous.
So the only thing, of course, I'm gonna ask you guys if you have to type slowly, because there is
I'll
no,
do my best.
yeah, there is no whatsoever push to talk at the moment in here. So
Give me a sec. I might just get a
In
pen
which
and
case, I
paper for my
apologize in
notes.
advance for my neighbours.
okay, no worries. Right. Let's retry for the third time to describe the scene. So we were at the fact that Jakob was filling in the form. So I was asking if you basically were going to be completely honest in what it was being written, including your old address. That's the only thing I was
Oh
asking.
yeah, the old address. Yeah, that's fine. Everything else,
Okay.
everything regarding Omega can be completely omitted.
Okay. Fantastic. So they basically book you a spot uh, 2 hours from now. It's a very quick in and out type of surgery. The surgery itself is going to last 6 hours, but they have the first opening at in 2 hours roughly. So you can actually have a look on the building how it is in the meantime, if you wanted to. Is everybody there with you, or is just Jakob and Brandon? I'm asking to Katie and Cross if you're going with him.
I
Uh,
was gonna chill.
I
Oh,
mean,
I think
out of
the worried person outside. I think.
yeah, I think I'd be outside concerned. This is
Concerned.
very shady.
Mm. Yeah, me and Cross are like somewhere else.
Your Cross are
Just
somewhere
chilling.
else. Okay,
Yeah, just chilling.
no problem. So, as I said, the building itself, the facility, is a state-of-the-art technology. You actually get assigned 2 nurses and an additional um, medic with you, Brandon, to help operating all the
Mm-hmm.
machinery and everything else. Altogether, this environment is going to give you a bonus of 10 to the test for the surgery.
Oh wow. Okay, that's great.
Is because the assistant is going to contribute, of course, to the good um, for a good operation,
Mhm.
good surgery, and also being the machinery state of the art is actually um, the best thing you can using
Yeah.
the best tool at the better time, basically.
On inspection, are any of the people helping me cyber enhance?
No, none of them is.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, times goes by and you manage to wait patiently in the waiting room for your turn to be in. You do the standard procedure of testing or checking which better anesthetic is um, for Jakob, according to blood tests that are done in a pretty smooth way without any pain or seeing the sight of blood for Jakob if it is a problem for him. So the perfect
Mm-hmm.
anesthetic is being synthesized for you, and you moved into the surgery room after being, of course, dressed for the occasion, Jakob. So you have to drop all your fantastic clothes outside and being assigned a fantastic open at the back vest.
Nobody stir.
But he's there.
Wait. Watch it. Is it bigger?
Oh my god!
Wow. You never know.
I mean, it's cold in here.
It's cold in here, okay. So the actual surgery is it has glasses in like a window type of thing. So it is one
Mhm.
side of the room has viewing glasses, like a sort of teaching part of it. But at the moment there is nobody in there.
Mhm.
So you basically lay on the table, and anesthetic starts to running through your veins, and after a few seconds, Jakub passes out.
Yeah. As he's passing off,
Yes.
I instruct him to tell me the moment when he felt the most happy in his life.
Jakub is up to you.
Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
That's probably what I'll get across. Yeah.
I'm just feeling that's like the response.
Yeah.
The moment when I wrap my hands around your throat.
Okay.
Whoa.
That was deep. And then he passes out.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking. Now that he's out, no. um, does he have visible other cyber enhancements while I'm preparing for the surgery that I should be aware of?
Um, do you, Jakub?
Only nasal filters and a biomonitor.
Oh, okay. So fairly low level stuff. Okay.
I'm poor.
Yeah. Cool. So how do we do this watching?
Just roll for the dice, another 10.
So medical tech
Medical tech,
with a
yes.
+10.
With a +10, yes.
Oh, this will be
Okay.
fun.
And here's where I roll a fumble. You said
No whammies,
mechanical
no whammies.
legs, right? Oh,
That-
there we go.
There you go. You should be fine, Jakub.
I should be absolutely fine.
Yes. So the procedure is going very well. Jakob, you are completely passed out in doing the anesthetic. There is a moment in which it feels that the anesthetic during the surgery is wearing off. You don't understand if it is a dream or a reality that you actually are opening your eyes during the surgery, because you still see people around you and you see Brandon operating on you. You actually see your old arm in ice currently, and you can't realize if it is the anesthetic dream or you actually are awake, and it's for like a total of 15 seconds. You don't feel any pain, but at the moment you have your eyes open and you look around and you see this scene, on the other side of the glass window, you see this.
Oh, fucking Christ.
You see somebody watching.
Why?
Yeah, I'm glad we're
I
elsewhere.
swear you just picked like the creepiest picture you could find.
It's not picked randomly, trust me.
Okay.
You see this person. It's very short because the window starts, I think, at 1.5 meters from the ground, and you can only see basically this. This is what you see. So this person, it must be very, very short. But it doesn't flinch. It doesn't move. It doesn't say anything. It just watches. And then you pass out again, or you keep dreaming. You don't understand if this was a dream or not. I'm gonna leave it
Hold
here to
my
haunt
dreams
you.
tonight.
I'm gonna leave it here to haunt your dreams now.
I hate you.
So, after a good 6 hours, you don't wake up anymore or daydream like that anymore. Okay. You wake up into an hospital bedroom. you feel numb. You feel still nauseous from the anesthetics, but you can feel something alien on your. Which arm it actually was at the end? You didn't
It
choose.
was the left.
Left arm. Okay. So you feel something alien into your left side of the body, and you realize that it feels heavy and light at the same time. Heavy probably because you're still under the effect of anesthesia, but it feels incredibly smooth in the moving. So that's what you feel at the moment. There is nobody else in the room with you. Beeping noises of machinery. Every signal looks okay. So what you do? You trying to test your arm?
Yeah, Jakob would be inspecting the arm, making sure everything's as it should be. He has experience with cybernetics, so he would know. I like to think he would know if anything was out of place.
Okay.
Everything's been done as intended.
Yes, the arm looks like the one on the brochure.
Fucking hell.
Exactly like that. You
But it's
expect it
red.
to be. You expect the blades to pop up, and they actually do. So
So I just clench my fist, and then all of a sudden,
yes, you basically have the equivalent of a Wolverine hand at the moment. And of course, it feels. You feel weird at the moment because it's still a foreign body for you. And when you open up the blades, you expect to feel pain of the blades piercing your skin, because of course the arm is covered in the skin tone of your skin. So you expect to feel pain, but in reality it doesn't, and it's something that puts you off a little bit. It's something that is called in the missing limb syndrome. You feel that it's still your arm there, but it's clearly not. And it's a bit distressing. You still need to get used to it.
So basically, I just feel like the anesthetic hasn't quite worn off yet.
The anesthetic has not quite worn off, and yes, you have this sort of missing limb syndrome at the moment. You
Right.
feel that it's still your arm, that is being modified, is not something that is completely foreign. The stitching and the allotment on the shoulder is done beautifully, perfectly. And besides that, it's just these two little details that are bothering you a little bit. After probably 10-15 minutes of you looking around and testing your new toy, one of the nurses that actually operated on you comes in with a set of tablets for you to take.
Okay.
And it's basically a painkiller and a compound, a tablet that basically avoid your reject the arm.
Oh, anti-rejection meds, yeah.
Yes, anti-rejection med. Yes, in case of course, it's not an organ, but these things that still can happen,
Yeah.
So it's just to making sure that you're getting all the possible treatment that is due to.
Well, I'd be taking the tablets with my right arm, right
Yes.
hand,
Yes.
and ingesting them.
Okay.
Because obviously the left arm is still very foreign, and
Yes. So yeah,
I'd still be sort of looking at it,
yes.
flexing the fingers, making sure everything's
Yes.
as it should be, and just feeling very disoriented in the process.
Let's say that your first instinct is to go actually and reach out with your left arm, but your brain overthinks it, and it decides to go with the most safe arm.
Yeah.
That's why your brain works. Brandon and oh my god, 1 second. Brandon and Vern, I apologize, lapsus. If you want to go and visit, you can actually now. Is fully awake.
Yeah, I would. Once I know he's conscious, I would want to visit him for sure. I'd tell Order and Vern the status of the surgery afterwards as well, so they know it was a success. But then I'd also alert them when he's conscious. So if they want to join as well, they're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Yeah, Vern would follow in after Brandon, just out of curiosity to see how well the surgery went and how Jakob's handling it. It's bigger.
Well, technically, the arm
Technically, it's the same size.
it should be the same
All right,
size,
it's
but
better.
it is more
It's
muscular.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like okay, let's say that it is like you were starting a training for an arm wrestling competition.
Oh, thank God you said arm wrestling competition.
Yes, it is
Oh,
the left
God.
hand, by the way. So but usually do
Might
the
be
right
left-handed.
for the other things.
You might be left-handed.
I would be very careful in that respect.
Yes, but basically, it feels like it is the first stage of getting muscular compared to your other arm. It's not overly disproportionate. It's still kind of the same size, but more defined. And that's about it. You starting to feel slowly more okay, Jakob. So the pain is not unbearable.
Are we able to speak freely
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
this room?
Well,
Okay.
you're alone in this room, so yes.
So how long do we think before bait is taken? Just out of
We'd have to get
curiosity.
out here first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I know. Do we want to have some kind of rotating watch, outside? Not Omega, but us.
If you want to do that,
'Cause we
you
don't-
can, yeah. They're expecting that either family or friends are being staying with him. Usually, in this type of facility, surgery like this will take probably 12 hours total to get recovered. And basically, if it is like midday today, by tomorrow morning you're free to go home, Jakob.
How far away from my apartment is this medical facility? Because I know I'm around the
It
same
is
district.
it is quite close from you. It's probably 10 minutes walk, no more.
Okay, and that'll be in range of our little earbuds that we get on
Yes.
every away mission?
Yes, it's gonna be in range.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, Brandon turns to the crew and says, well, my apartment's really close to here. We could set up there and then people could stay there and then come out here for a watch. And we're still close by in case things go wrong, rather than all of us waiting around here, drawing
Absolutely.
attention to it.
Sounds ideal. We'd be drawing too much attention with all of us heading in one direction anyway, so.
Are you joining the watch, Katie, as well?
Well, Order's always watching, so.
Okay. Yes. Order. Yes. Yeah.
Always watching.
Okay.
You think that it is very unlikely that a gang like the Slaughterhouse would ever try to infiltrate this facility,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know what type of access Socrates and his crew might have. So
Mm-hmm.
being on the watch is not a bad idea.
Right. I'm going to have a look at the medical charts. Is there anything here that is of worry, or has everything
No.
seemed to be going as I'd expect?
No, everything is. It looks perfectly fine. All the vital signal seems perfectly fine. The course of tablets that he's been taken is by procedure. So
Mm-hmm.
standard painkillers,
Cool.
standard anti-reject tablets.
And these are standard, right?
It's very standard. Everything
We
is
know
very
these are
standard.
standard.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
I
names.
would tell you everything looks fine and that this seems standard procedure. Nothing
Yes.
seems out of the ordinary.
They added also an anti-sickness just to compensate the hangover of the anesthesia. But again, all the names turns out to be perfectly by plan, by procedure. They're not trying
Jacob,
to poison you. Let's say that. Okay, that was your concern, Jakob.
Jacob, what's your favorite color?
God again.
Jakob says nothing, extends his left arm to 1 foot away from Brandon's throat, and clenches his fist.
They
The
work,
blades
apparently.
pop out.
The blades work.
He
Yeah.
stares.
Jacob.
He stares.
Thank
at
you for
Brandon.
supporting us over the last 7 seasons of Orange is the New
Excuse me?
Black.
And to say thank you, we want to read off some of our
What's
favorite
happened there?
That's my phone. Sorry.
That's fine.
Like
That's
the
not what I was
loudest,
saying.
the loudest ad ever, and it won't close.
It's time to announce the new sponsor, guys. It's
Yeah.
Netflix.
I'm so sorry. Went to load up a message and it just felt like the loudest ad ever.
No problem.
Jacob, it
Yeah. As
may
I was
seem
saying,
as
as I was
a
saying,
minor thing, but
yeah.
can you answer the question?
As I'm staring at Brandon, blades extended, almost touching his throat, I just look at him and I say, "Red," and then I
Okay.
put my arm down.
Okay. All working as intended. Right.
So, are they going to let us come back and do visitation or what?
Yeah, you can go back and forth how long you want. In true honesty, it's quite normal in this type of things.
Well, if there's anything in particular you want besides hospital jello or synth jello, let us know.
It's again they bring you quite nice food. It's not the usual crap you get in hospitals. So besides, of course, the jello that is standard procedure once again, this is quite a good meal, like a sort of roast dinner, very nicely made.
Wow, he gets schmancy food here.
Yeah, it's
All right.
fancy food. There is a cafeteria in here as well. Again, the
If
food.
the food is good.
The food is good. Tastes good. Very well cooked. Feels like done by a proper chef and not again synthesized or whatever fake things. I mean, the procedure
Well-
inside this building are quite expensive anyway. So
I guess Vern would just nod, glad you're doing okay, if anything fishy does happen in the next, few hours when we're not actually here, potentially hit your phone, if does he have a phone? Wait, do you even have a
yes,
phone?
well, you are with the earpiece, and is in talking distance with
within radius?
Sorry.
Within radius of
Yes.
of Brandon's apartment? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, if anything suspicious, just give us a shout, literally, and we'll be down here to case the place and follow. So
Okay.
So are we going to leave one person on site and then the other two go and rest at Brandon's apartment? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think that was
yeah,
the plan indeed.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. So I
So-
guess I'll head back
Okay.
to my apartment. Sounds like Vern is as well. So that leaves Order on watch.
Okay.
for now, yeah.
For now,
Yeah,
yes, and
for
then
now.
you do
For
shifting.
first shift, yeah.
At least
Okay.
I've got a ninja watching me.
You got a ninja watching you, exactly.
If anyone can see me.
Clearly.
Well, that's the bonus. You could just not be watching him. You could be at the arcade and say, "No, I was watching you. You just didn't see me."
Great. I'm filled with confidence.
The Spectre.
Yep.
Exactly.
New
So-
nickname.
Nickname, the Spectre, indeed.
Hmm.
So, you feel quite tired, Jakob, so you pass out a little bit more. You have a nap. Order is watching over you.
A little ninja angel.
Yes. Can you, Order, please do for me a test of, let me double check it. A test of endurance.
Endurance, I can. Which
And the body.
body? Yes, I can.
Okay. You remain awake for the first 3 hours of your watch.
How long is my watch?
4 hours.
Oh, I did pretty well then.
You pass out at you just bored. Nothing is happening. The beeping of the machines are quite hypnotic and then like very making you very sleepy. It's very rhythmical,
Very soothing.
soothing. Yeah, that's the word I was looking. Thank you. So you pass out. Jakub, can you do an endurance check for me, please?
Endurance. Boop.
Yes.
Oh lordy.
Okay. You wake up again. I will say half an hour into Order's nap. And the room is very quiet. Again, the machinery do the beeping. And you realize that you're not alone in the room. Besides, of course, Order. In one
If I could even see her.
Yes, you can see her. Well, you can see because there's a very flashy armchair where she's sat on. In the corner of the room, just under where the TV is, you see again this figure that you saw during your surgery.
In the corner of the room. He's actually there.
He's actually there.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. Well, then I'd sit bolt upright and immediately extend the left arm, clench the fist, and say, "Who are you?"
He doesn't speak at the beginning. Then he moves towards you. Hands behind his back.
Hand is still clenched. Blades are
Yes.
still out.
It is hands behind his back. Dressed what it looks like to be in Chinese clothing, like sort of button-up shirt with high neck, and what looks like to be typical slippers that you can see in those type of attires. He comes close to you, almost out, just out of the range of your blades. And he just say very few words to you in a very broken English Chinese accent. that I'm not going to replicate because I don't want to be that person. And he says, surgery went well. Make good use of this. Then he turns on his back and leaves the room from the main door.
Okay.
And you're left there with your arm stretched out with the blade, completely not knowing what to do next.
Retract the blades. I open my hand, you know.
The sound of the retracting blades wakes up Order.
What the heck are you doing?
There was a man in here.
Where?
He was short. He just left.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you really sure? You've had a lot. You've done a lot today.
He said to make good use of these blades, and I retract them again. I clench the fist again. Show them, you know, that thing.
Okay. She just makes a mental note to speak to Brandon later.
I'm not crazy. He was a midget. He was creepy. He was Chinese.
It's okay. It's okay. You just need to rest. It's okay. You're okay.
Can you do an awareness check, both of you, please?
Oh, I got this.
Awareness is under intelligence Order. Okay. Okay.
Crap.
Order.
Not a ninja.
Not a ninja. Order. You realize that in the corridor and inside this room there is actually security cameras.
You know where I'm going. Figuring out where.
You're going to need me to hack into their systems.
Oh God. Okay.
By the way, everybody is listening to this conversation.
Guys, apparently there was a small man in here being super creepy, and I'm a bit creeped out, to be fair, and I'm not easily creeped.
So you believe me?
A little bit, just because that arm is very convincing.
Yes, it is.
I feel like this is something we need to check on, because I'm not entirely sure that this is just some kind of like drug related nonsense.
Agreed, but did he say anything to either of you?
Didn't say anything to me. I might have been asleep.
He told me the surgery was successful and I should make the use of these blades. Make good use of them.
Brandon, any ideas?
Would I recognize the description of the person?
Nope. Never seen this
Would
person.
any of us?
Nope.
Okay.
Do you need us there?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm just shocked by the fact that someone managed to get past me.
Yeah.
Her shift is nearly up anyway,
Yes.
and if
You were
someone
sleeping.
actually was able to get by, then
I slept for
maybe we
30
need to.
minutes.
30 minutes.
So much
too
for
long.
rotation. Vern would throw her jacket on and get her gear and start heading on over, and would motion to Brandon, "Come on."
Brandon will pack up the good pre-packed food that he was cooking for a meal for Vern and him, and then put it into some take to go boxes and bring it for everyone.
Okay.
Can I get my
Aw,
clothes
what a
back?
gentleman. Oh,
Yeah,
that too.
his clothes would have been returned, surely,
Yes,
right?
yes. They're in your room, the clothes.
Yeah.
Right. So okay, I'd be making sure I'm dressed then. Would my gun be there?
It is outside the room because of machinery and everything else. So
But I'd be
you
able to retrieve it.
yes. Basically, there is a storage locker with all your metal stuff and equipment, and your clothes are just inside your room.
Okay, then I'd be taking my equipment
Okay.
and getting tooled up. Not that I need to be with this arm.
Yeah. You probably realize that accessing the feed of these cameras will not take much long to you.
Fair enough then. So we'd be going to find the security office?
Yes. You manage to find a couple of nurses, and you can ask them directions if you need to be.
Okay. So we're just allowed to waltz on into the security office then?
No, you need to ask permission, of course. You need to have a valid reason, because these type of things, of course, are a breach of the security of our of the customers of there. So if you complain that you got somebody in, they can potentially investigate if there's actually been a breach.
Right. So there's no trouble on the way to the security office. We
No,
just
there's
get
no trouble.
directions and we head
Yes,
there.
get
Right,
direction
okay.
exactly.
And so who's in the security office at the minute then?
There's a couple of engineers in there that one actually is a security guard, the other one is the technician.
Okay. Well then I'd be asking the security guard if we could take a look at the footage from for the last hour?
Mr. Jacob, you think there's been a breach of your privacy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was a Chinese midget.
Chinese midget. Okay. Right.
Oh my god.
Let me just do a quick call to our central that has all the archive. Of course, I will have to write down a formal complaint if you, of course, want to confirm that there was a breach in your private security. He does a very quick phone call, nodding most of the times without saying much word, and then basically tells the technician to roll up the footage of the last 4 hours of your permanence in the room. Footage start to roll. Everything you see there is familiar. At the 3 hours mark, you see order dozing off. Nothing has happened so far. In the next half an hour, once again, nothing happens. Then you wake up. The footage doesn't show anybody in there. It shows the scene of
It shows me getting up, holding my arm out.
Yes.
Right.
But there is no one in the room with you.
And is the room well lit?
Yeah. It is lit let's say that the machinery made the bed lit. So around the bed there isn't any dark area that could have been, hiding something or somebody.
So there was nobody there, and the cameras at on the outside of the room, would they show anything?
Nothing.
He wasn't. So for all intents and purposes, he wasn't there.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you do a check, Jakub, on electrical security?
Gotcha.
You squint a little bit the eyes on the footage, and you see next to your bed, where at the other end of the fist,
Mm-hmm.
a sort of blurred aura. It, in some ways, it looks like when a predator is stealth from the movies.
So sort of like a shimmer of like an outline of a person.
Yes, there's a sort of shimmer that is not as low sci-fi as the one from the movies, but it feels like there is something in there, and at the same time, there isn't.
Will the others be able to pick up on this and notice it?
Once pointed out, yes.
Okay. Something's not quite right here.
The technician that is rolling up the footage now that has been pointed out as well decided to, oh, well, yes, I can do something. And he just started to manipulate all the buttons and switches and everything else. And he basically turns on the heat analyzer.
Right.
And you can see all the heat traces of you, of odor, and there is a faint outline for the, like you call it, the midget, the Chinese midget. It shows a tiny one, but there is no heat radiating. In fact, the heat image is on the tones of the blue.
Okay.
He's a tiny
He's a
ninja ghost.
reptile.
Small ninja.
Zombies.
And then you actually see the heat trace, the cold heat trace, leaving the room, but there is no door open, and there is no trace of this heat wave in the cameras of the corridor.
Out of
Question.
curiosity, are there... Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go.
No, when I saw him back when I was in the room, did the door open when he left?
No.
He just walked through the door.
Yes.
What?
You're only just telling me this now. I wouldn't have picked up on that.
I think Jakob would have screamed.
You were in shock about the situation, but your eyes didn't connect on the fact that it was actually, because you still thought that it was an hallucination.
Right. Okay.
And so, as a proper ghost, he just did a ghost thing on you.
So, okay, can I just... Are there full... Wait. Are there full body... cybernetic bodies like Ghosts in the Shell? Like, can a person be a mind inside a shell?
Not without psychosis.
Legally?
There is a start of development on this type of technology, but is not reached this type of idea you are trying to describe to me. No.
All right, I'm out of options.
in which case, I'd be checking the. Would I have any of the? No, I wouldn't have any of the medication with me, would I?
They if you're leaving the facility, they were gonna give you a full set of medication for when you are outside.
Okay, I'd give a single dose to Brandon and say, check this out.
Okay.
Make sure there's nothing wrong with it.
Or share it.
Yeah.
I'll share it later if there's something wrong with it then.
How much longer is Jakob's stay in this facility scheduled for?
for the next.
I'm about ready to leave, mate.
Yeah.
You can be self-medicated at home, as
Yeah.
long as you have the full course of tablets, and
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
just
somebody
trying.
helping administrating them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to gauge like how much has the body like healed.
He can walk and do things about. It's gonna be better
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay. So we can either take him back to my apartment or we can take him to Omega.
Or we could go back to my old house.
Where's that?
We can.
Outside.
You've got the address, haven't you, Watchy?
Yes, it is basically north of the North Side district. So outside the map here. So in that direction over here. Let me
So it's outside the city limits.
over there.
I'd say we head that way.
Past the carnage of everything that was in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jakob,
my thinking is that they have that information at the medical facility. So if anything was going to happen, the safest place would be my old house, because there's nothing of value there, and we can defend ourselves.
that's a good plan.
That's a good.
Whereas
yeah,
if we
no.
went to Brandon's place, there's stuff of value at his place, and
We've never been there.
I'm just going under assumptions here that
Jojo loaded. There's going to be loads of stuff at your house that they're going to want.
Well,
there's gonna be
also
loads of
no
creepy stuff at your
potential,
house.
no
Yeah.
potential for collateral damage potentially of innocents being
Exactly,
around.
outside of the city
Mm,
limits.
My primary concern is Jakob. If you are going to heal and get fully ready to accept this new form your body's taken, certainly returning to your own home would help with the healing of the mind, but right now the priority should be the healing of the body.
That is kind of true.
Yeah, I have the medication I need.
So
I
you
can
can
do
either
this.
heal here, or we can go back to my apartment nearby. So if anything does happen, like rejection of your new arm, we're a bit closer to any sort of emergency services. And then once we're all happy with the physiology, we can return to your place to continue the plan.
If you're happy with that.
I'm
If you're happy with that.
Yeah. Before proceeding on this as well, can you, Jakob, do another awareness notice check, please?
Awareness. That's better.
You have the brilliant idea to go and ask the technician to check the footage of your operation.
For the Chinese midget.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't I think of that?
That's
Like,
true.
me as a person, like, well, why the fuck didn't I think of that? Out of character.
Well,
Why didn't I think
we're a little apoplectic over the fact that it walks through walls.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, there's that. There's that.
I'm still not convinced it's real.
Fair enough. So you ask the technician to roll up the footage, and there's your surgery, and you actually open your eyes. So nobody there was noticing that because they were too intent of attending to your arm. So you actually, it was real. You open your eyes for some reason. So the first camera shows the eyes opening. So now you know the timestamp, and you can cross-check it with the camera in the corridor. Doing that, you notice that the corridor is fairly dark. There's not much light outside because usually it's used for like students to look at operations. It's a sort of a medical university hospital sometimes for special surgeries. You ask the technician to turn on the heat signature, and it doesn't show anything. There is, for like 2 seconds, growing heat of like this size.
Okay.
Then the growing heat ceases, and then you see once again the outline in bluish that resembles the size that you already seen. It stays there for a total of 15 to 20 seconds, and then the heat wave, the circular one, reappear, but for this time big to small, and the outline disappears.
So, is there any way of seeing? Did he just teleport out? Is what you're telling me?
It feels like. And of course, it doesn't make any sense to you because there isn't such thing as teleportation technology. It's only in the books.
You just
It's only in
hear
sci-fi.
you just hear a tiny, quite sleepy voice behind you saying, "I could try and enhance the image if you want."
You can actually ask if you want the footage to be taken
We
out
could
of
take
here.
a copy of the footage
Yes.
for later. Jakob would turn to the group and say, "Change of plan. We need to talk to somebody at Omega."
Why do you think they're involved?
They have technology.
They can't rebuild him.
And on that note, I'm gonna call for a break. I will see you in 10 minutes, guys. Be right back. And we are back. So we left with this puzzling image of a potential new technology that has been discovered by somebody of teleportation, but you don't understand what has happened at the moment because you don't have, even if you are quite knowledgeable in terms of technology, there is nothing that you can possibly think that actually works like teleports. It is only written in books for what you know. So you wanted to go back to Omega?
Yeah.
Will they have medical facilities that we could rest
Oh,
Jakob
of course, yes, of course.
Okay.
Don't forget that they do their own surgery in those levels.
Yep.
So they have everything needed for you. And once you go back inside Omega, you will need to do another quick rescan of your hand. Because, of course, now that hand has fingerprints. Jakob.
Of course. Yeah.
So, again, standard procedure, the hand get scrambled in terms of fingerprints and everything else. So they update your file with that. And Janine asks you, so that's new and looks very, very recent. Why you didn't ask us? We have all the facilities for doing that. I mean, it is a very good job, but we provide this type of things as well.
We needed it through official channels.
Right. Okay. Okay. Is something you're working on for your case?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks very good on you, and she actually studies it a little bit.
Well, thank you.
You can see.
Jakob clenches his fist to show the blades off.
Yeah. She jumps a little bit for the impact of this reveal, but you can tell that her left eye is actually scanning it. You see like a flicker in the iris. Oh yeah, that's a very good model. I can see that is one of the most advanced one. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. Yes. Well, off you go then, guys. Well, have a good work. And she lets you. She opens the door after the medical scan, of course.
Okay, so would I notice anything unusual about her cybernetic eye?
No, it potentially is the same one that Order has.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we leave, Brandon would just tell Janine that he was the one who did the surgery. So if there's any need for those services here at Omega, please let him know.
Oh, she actually looks quite impressed on the work, and she said that she will definitely keep that in mind in case it's needed for special duty surgery.
Mm-hmm.
You are back at your desks.
Oh, I'd be going straight up to Richard's office. Oh, sorry, Dick's office.
Dick's office. Okay. Yeah.
I'd be going to heat up food because there was food mentioned earlier, and we never ate,
yeah.
and I'm fucking hungry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go to the cafeteria.
I'm with Vern.
Okay. Everybody leaves you to go for food.
I would stick with Jakob all the while heavily suggesting that he goes to the medical bay first.
Okay. Well, the course of the tablets is due in like 1 hour. So
We've got time then.
There's still time for the next set of medications.
We've employed Brandon as your personal clock.
Yeah. So basically, at the facility, they gave you like a big box of tablets, And
But they're suppositories.
no, they're not suppositories. We
Thank God.
evolved from that brutality. So you wanted to analyze also the tablets, isn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, I wanted Brandon to analyze them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested
While
in
I
that,
go and
but
talk to Dick.
Okay.
I'm not leaving Jakob.
Okay.
Oh no! You're
The-
going to analyze those.
the analysis, the quick scan can be done by a portable scanner anyway, because you basically crumble the tablets and then the composition gets the
Yeah, I've got a
result.
med scanner in my standard
Yes.
kit, so I can do that easily. Yeah.
Yes. So they turn out to be perfectly normal. No hallucinogen, or anything different from a standard course of antibiotics, painkillers, and anti-reject tablets. Perfectly standard, perfectly normal. Nothing weird.
Then up to Dick's office we go.
Okay. You are in his office. Oh, Janine just sent me a message that you got a new toy, apparently.
I raise my arm, clench the fist, put it back down.
Yeah. you notice that now that you know how your arm looks under clothing, you do realize that Roman, your boss,
Dick.
has two of them. Or
Okay.
it looks like he has two of them. So, you need anything, Jakob?
What do you know about teleportation technology?
Well, there's a lot of books that talks about that. Mostly are novels and related to what they called science fiction. Most of that shit now is reality, but no. Teleportation never happened. You can
There
try.
was.
You can try to understand if he's lying or not.
Okay.
I mean, try to
It's going to be
find.
awareness, isn't it?
It's going to be an awareness, yes, because there is no deception or anything.
Oh, there's human perception.
You can do human perception potentially, yes.
I don't have any points in it.
Then probably use awareness at this point.
Okay. Sorry, let me just.
All in all, it feels that yes, he's doing a joke, but he's more likely telling you the truth.
Out of character,
Mm-hmm.
phasing technology and teleportation are two different things.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was just straight up gone.
Yes. He didn't phase
walked through
out.
the door and gone. He just disappeared. He just poof.
Yes.
Yeah, he just went through the door and then
Okay.
he just bam, gone.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
It's
we
up
could
to
talk
you
about
now how
phasing,
much
but-
you want to reveal, Jakub.
In that case,
Well,
do you have any vertically challenged friends?
explain better? What you mean vertically challenged?
Short.
Well, there's a couple of them. We employ them in here. What you talking about?
Either of them Chinese?
No, none of them is Chinese. They're both from what was Bronx? They traveled across the country and came here. Well, Bronx now doesn't exist anymore, so. But yeah. Why all these weird questions? Are you still under the effect of the anesthesia?
No. I saw someone.
Okay. And this
He
someone.
was short, Chinese, and he possesses the ability to walk through things and vanish.
Right. Okay. He is trying to intake what you're saying. You're not sure that he believes you 100%, but is not refusing what you are saying outright.
We can verify this with the staff at the medical facility if needs be. They saw exactly what I saw.
Okay. Well, okay, that's perfectly fine. Did you manage to get any footage of this?
Yeah, we have a copy of it.
Can I have a look?
Hang on, our character has order got this.
Well, you
So just walks in without the footage.
No, I believe since you asked for the footage, I believe that he gave it to you.
Okay. In which case, I'd hand him the footage, and we'd sit and watch it.
You play the footage, and the footage has both the normal footage and the heatwave one.
Mm-hmm.
The heatwave one doesn't show anything anymore.
Would we be able to go back and get the original footage then?
You can try.
And
this is Roman says this. Well, I see you raising a fist, and there's nothing there. Okay. You might need some rest, probably. He says to you.
no, there was a man there. This footage has been tampered with.
Okay. Well, try to find the proper footage then.
Mm. And then I guess Jakob then leaves the office. Sorry to waste your time.
Oh, that's fine. Just
suppose.
make sure that you take care of yourself, because this type of surgeries are quite invasive, as you might have noticed. So just make sure that you take everything. Make sure that you keep an eye on your health. Have some rest and other things. So you're basically trying to make sure that genuine is not a piss taking. Is genuine worried for you.
Okay. I'd
As
be
we're
coming back to join the
leaving-
others at this point.
Okay. Yes, Brandon.
Yeah. As we're leaving, Brandon would just pause and think. And Richard, what was your process like? Your rehabilitation after your surgery for this?
You mean these? No. He removed his jacket, and you see that his arms are not actually cybernetics, but he has a sort of implant on them, like a pneumatic implant that goes over his arms to enhance the strength.
So it's like old school cyber tech.
Yes,
like,
old school cyber tech.
It's not a replacement. It's
he still has his human hands, human arm. It's just
so he's got like an exoskeleton then.
Yeah, sort of. Yes.
What was your rehabilitation for that then?
Well, this wasn't much. This was just a day surgery they did for me here in Omega.
And you felt fine? You weren't
Yeah.
hearing voices?
No,
seeing
absolutely
things?
not. I was a bit drowsy, as you probably are after anesthesia, but that's about it.
Okay.
Mine was nothing compared to what Jakob here has to go through. I could never lose one of my limbs unless that, of course, happens. But voluntarily, I will never go on that extent to modify myself.
What's your favorite color, Richard?
Blue.
Oh, for God's sake.
He actually is dressed in blue. It's like a blue suit and a black tie. Very high sartorial clothing. Cause
Nice.
yeah, you're on the second plate. Yes, guys, you are eating. So at the
I just
cafeteria,
want to hear the small talk between those two while they're
yes,
eating.
at the
Cut
cafeteria,
through.
Vern and Order, you just see the entire variety of how many agents actually Omega has. They're all taking turns on taking the break and everything else, but you see quite a crew. We're talking probably about 60 to 70 different employee at any time in here, having a break, taking a coffee, having a snack, discussing cases, showing off the new weapons. So it is quite of a sight in just of variety.
I mean, there could be so much for small talk here. I didn't want to detrail like from your
No, that's
from the
fine.
case.
I just wanted to check if you actually wanted to do anything while you were doing small talk and eating.
No, actually, Vern would be probably discussing with Otter how diverse the agents were within Omega, one, and then two, probably trying to guess what was going on with the boys, debating whether or not they were going to join them. Are they still within ear contact? Like, can they still communicate with one another?
Yes.
I would just, yeah, that would probably be just about it, is a small talk. Up to Otter.
Oh, Order would have been quiet for the most part, for the most of the time, because she's just thinking, and then just chimes up suddenly between mouthfuls of food. What if the tiny guy never left the room? Maybe
You
he
mean
didn't. Like he
just
didn't.
disapparated, but was really still there? Like, just...
Yeah. Like, did he
Okay.
even leave?
What if we breathed him in?
Okay, now that's
And now the
spooky.
paranoia of Jakob goes and skyrocket.
The level of paranoia, it's off the charts.
Like they say that that you can't teleport. It doesn't. It's not a technology that exists unless it does
Okay.
exist in like
Let's...
high end stuff. But I've never seen it. But
What we've never seen is not, outside the realm of what somebody's secretly working on someplace else.
Yeah.
Or it could be something we've never even heard of. It may not even be technology, which worries me far more than any technology we haven't seen. So,
Vern and Order, can you do a perception, an awareness check, but with a +10?
I can
awareness is under...
Intelligence.
with a 10 modifier.
Yes. Positive 10, yes.
Don't do +10 because that'll cause a negative.
Okay.
Just put 10.
Wow. Okay. Aligned, I would say.
Like twins.
We're twinsies.
It is an easy awareness check because it's so visible what you're looking at. You are sat at your table eating and discussing about disappearing a midget from China and whatnot.
Sorry. That's
No, it's fine. Now the name is the Chinese midget. It's dubbed like that at this point. So,
Okay.
inside the cafeteria, enters probably the most beautiful man you ever seen.
Oh, you mean me?
Oh dear.
God damn it.
God damn it, indeed. No, not you, Jakob.
This guy's
Clench
bigger.
his fist.
Mine bigger.
I'm bigger. This man is probably 6 foot tall, perfect body shape, and you know that he's a perfect body shape because he's wearing the tightest suit possible. It's like a combat suit, but it's like a sort of microfiber, very tight bodysuit. You can see all his muscles.
All.
All of them.
All the
Hey.
muscles.
All the muscles. The Joe is like the proper superhero, like Superman Joe. Those type of shapes for the face, and long blonde hair turning almost white, platinum, I would say.
I didn't know we employed vampires as well.
He's not actually wearing shoes. He's
was gonna-
barefooted.
I was wondering how you were going to
Okay.
end that.
Yeah,
Thank God he's got some trousers on.
He's not wearing any pants.
shoes we can deal with. That's good. That's good.
Sorry.
He walks in. He goes.
Is there
to
anything
the...
weird about his feet?
No. Just normal.
Okay.
Everything is very tight, but of course you don't see the shapes down there. Come on.
So he's walking very briskly, I guess.
Yeah, he's walking with a stance, of course,
Okay.
and going to the cafeteria, taking something to eat, a very small meal, and then walking off.
He's not with anybody?
No, he's just been there and just went in and went out.
No shoes.
No shoes.
Would Audrey
Well, that's
have
what
enough
Vern's
time-
saying. No shoes.
No shoes.
I'm sorry. I have a thing about feet and walking barefoot, so why?
Would Audrey have had enough time to scan him?
Yeah.
Okay. Would that have brought up anything like odd about him?
No cybernetics or anything that you could scan potentially. Nothing. All 100%
Human.
mature.
100% humans.
Human.
Sexy humans. We
Um,
wouldn't know if he's had plastic surgery or anything like that. Any kind of
No, it feels that everything is being like Mother Nature has made.
well, small blessings upon us. Thank you.
And his no shoes.
And his no shoes. I'm baffled.
One of the other agent, he's called Sigmund, is a technician. He looks very nerdy. What you would expect to be somebody looking like, yes.
Oh, for Sigmund, the technician.
Yes, Sigmund the technician it already says everything about him.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
saw you staring, basically, at this person. I said,
I like
Sorry.
to think that one of their jaws is like wide
Yeah,
open
probably.
at this point.
I was gonna say that like the fork is halfway to the mouth, but never got there, just sitting there
Yeah.
eternally in the air.
if we are talking in cyberpunk numbers, his attractiveness is 10.
Whoa.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
even
Where's
believe
the-
Mindy said no to going to the dance with him?
Good God.
So this Sigmund approaches you two and says, and he stutters a little bit. I noticed that you were looking at him. He's Gabriel. He's one of the new guys.
Angel Gabriel? Because yeah.
Well,
The name fits.
that's the name we gave him because he was found in the streets a year ago, and with no memories of his past. So we assessed his health. We were doing a case at the time, and he was found into this warehouse. and we brought him in, and we had some analysis, and he's human, he says, but a bit different.
Different how?
Well, he has, I would say, organs where they shouldn't be.
Is that why he's barefoot?
No, that's it, because he doesn't like shoes.
Oh. Organs where they shouldn't be. I'm so afraid of this.
What
He-
organs are where?
Well, his heart is not where is it usually,
Oh.
and he actually has two of them.
So he's the doctor?
Well, no, it's not Doctor Who. Come on.
I mean, he has no memory. Come on. Just saying. Is there a police box nearby? I'm kidding.
They don't exist anymore, I'm afraid.
The doctor.
They are called now toilets.
So kind of like 2019 then.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
more
real talk,
Dr.
when
Who.
Discord was fucking up, now would be the time to just go exterminate.
Exterminate.
Yes. So, I mean, that's useful to have on an agent. Not exactly having a kill shot.
He said he's an excellent agent, very strong, very capable agent.
Odd. Interesting, though. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. I am again. My name is Sigmund. I live in the technician area, and he just leaves away very shyly.
I like Sigmund.
I like him too. That was nice. That was generous. So, interesting agents of all kinds here. Jakob, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I just want to know who this Chinese man is. Why are you staring at that guy with the blonde hair?
You weren't?
He's here.
You were staring at the guy with the blonde hair.
Oh, well, I mean, why wouldn't we be staring at the guy with the blonde hair?
Because there are plenty of other people in this room.
I understand. Look, pretty things are pretty.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't mean anything beyond that. Wow.
Wow.
Love the arm.
Wow.
It's an arm, all right.
So, are we all officially together at this point, or we're still on
You're
comms?
officially together.
We're all officially together. Okay. So, are you guys going to eat? I think Jakob should eat something, probably, if you're going to be taking your meds. Yes. No. Maybe.
Yeah. So what food's on offer here?
Basically any type of cuisine for you, so you can just choose.
Order goes back to shoving noodles in her face.
My ramen is cold.
I'll take some ramen.
This is Sigmund.
Oh, I like Sigmund.
That's ripped from the
Hang
same
on.
damn comic, Watchy.
I like Sigmund.
But it's actually
he's
funny
very
enough,
familiar.
Yeah, kind of how I actually thought he would look when he said his name is Sigmund and that's it. I was like, that's actually kind of how I imagined he would look.
Anybody else getting Giles vibes here?
Yeah.
Yeah, except with a very big nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard not to descend into innuendo now.
Oh God. No.
No,
So,
it's
any progress? I mean, are we getting any information? We're gonna have to, I think, go through other sources if we can't get any information from here.
What happened with the footage?
It was tampered with by the looks of it.
What? But we took
I
that.
mean,
The Chinese midget wasn't there.
we literally
played it back.
just left with the footage. I mean, that's
There's
All
got to
right.
be some weird sort of copy protection on it. Some kind of bug in the system.
Maybe he was still in the building when we left.
We've got to go back.
Well,
Okay.
do we?
I was saying to Van, like teleporting isn't. It's not a thing.
He
Like,
was there, and then
but-
he was not.
But what if
Was
he's
he?
still there? Like still in the
What
room
if he,
that
if
he
he
never
stayed
left.
there? He'd be gone by now.
Hmm.
My question's more, how does this affect our original investigation?
He spoke to me.
He's obviously got an interest in Jakob.
Well, he has an
Yes,
interest in the
are we
cybernetics.
Are we investigating somebody who murders people and a gang that decapitates people with implants, or are we investigating a man who has an interest in another man who we adventure with?
They've
Oh,
gotta
you
be
bring up a
connected.
good point. We don't know that for sure, though. We don't know if it's just. Look, I believe you when you say you saw him. I believe that both of you saw on the footage some kind of discrepancy that proved there was someone else in the room, but it doesn't necessarily tie into the case. Wouldn't it be a far more violent situation we'd be dealing with now if he was casing the place for new cybernetic implants? I mean, I'm just saying.
You are discussing among you. Probably, are you still in the cafeteria talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're discussing among you, and one of them, again, a weird thing happened. All your 4 phones ring at the same time.
With the same person?
It shows unknown number.
Of course it does.
Who's answering that?
Well, I'll be answering then.
Yeah. Go for it.
You are the 3 you don't answer?
Potentially Vern does because she always answers her phone.
I answer.
Order?
Questionable answers it but doesn't say anything.
For those that actually answer the phone, you hear a voice, very broken English, almost Chinese mixed with English. You, Jakob, recognize the voice
Mm-hmm.
as the one that spoke to you in your room. And the voice says, I don't mean to interrupt your investigation. Please go on with your duties. All will be explained in due time.
Listen here, you Chinese midget. Who are you? Where are you from? Who are you working for?
There is no answer, there is a click. And you heard the same sentence in all like it was a broadcaster.
So potentially our friend never left our side. What if it's an AI that's tied to cybernetics? I'm just putting this out there.
We should have checked
mean-
the projection equipment in the medical facility then.
Something. I mean,
That sounds more plausible than teleporting small people.
right. How would they know? How would they know?
Teleporting
Yeah.
small people. I like the fact that you're focusing on the fact that it's not just teleporting, it's not teleporting small people.
Well, wouldn't it be easier? Smaller atoms? Okay.
So
I'm
you need
just
to be a
saying.
midget to be teleported, otherwise you die.
You watch, this guy's going to turn out to be like 7 foot tall, and it was just like a small projection of
A
him.
really bad tiny
Yeah.
projection.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Yeah.
Type of things.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Vern would turn to the rest of them and be like, I think that's as far as we're going to get for right now with that, you know. And potentially, this is someone that's watching us and the case. They seem benevolent for now. I'm more concerned about Jakob being snatched off the street randomly and having his arm sawn off.
Yeah.
So
You actually get you see Janine entering the cafeteria now, and says, just reaching for you guys, and basically says that the agents that went for collecting to help in on the shootout at the range are back, and they did their report. There aren't good news, I'm afraid.
uh-oh.
Damn it.
No survivors.
Just follow me. We're gonna discuss in the debriefing room. So you go back upstairs, actually downstairs, because it was a level above you, and the two agents are there, a bit scuffed, but they don't seem to be too much bothered about the injuries. There's no visible injuries that is maybe life-threatening or anything else. The report basically says that the pub owner is deceased in the shootout. The owner of the range has survived, and the assalitors has been killed. So that's the good. There's no good news because the person they had to protect, it was already too late when they arrived on the spot.
Mhm.
We should keep the range owner in for questioning later, I think.
Yeah. Well, that would
But
be.
now,
Yeah.
I think we should focus on the original plan
Yes.
of going
I
back to
agree.
my place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you're physically healed, of course.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, your tablets are due, and if you want to go and fetch and do your course of tablets, you can do it now before leaving.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Brandon pulls them out of his coat pocket along with a hip flask of water that he's been carrying with him since they left the hospital.
Okay.
Personal babysitter.
Personal
My
babysitter,
God.
personal medics. You know.
There you go.
Medic.
Medic.
Take your pills
He's
now.
thorough. He's
Don't make me have to
thorough.
put it in peanut butter.
Let me wrap it in a piece of cheese for you.
Exactly.
Would you like bologna with it?
Mhm.
Take your medicine.
While Jakob's taking
Jakob clenches his fist again and just stares at Brandon.
Surely they taste better with peanut butter, though.
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
Your tablets go down like usually. Again, you check the tablets already, and there's nothing bad on those. So
Out of
Oh, thank
curiosity,
God you got rid of that picture.
it's
Yeah.
still ingrained in my brain. Like I close my eyes and I see it.
It's just there.
exactly.
With the church,
Yes.
after the explosion, I mean, I feel shitty because we kind of brought all of that down on them despite the situation that was going on. Is there any way that we can reconnect with the sisters? Do we know if everyone's okay, if they're safe?
The sisters are actually fine. It's Father Kevin that is still missing.
Okay. No,
But
that
he ran.
The one that
he
ran.
ran. So.
Yes.
So Father Kevin's still at large, and we have bait waiting that we hope is going to lead to another connection.
So at the moment you have 3 potential follow-up on this story. Okay. You can go to Jakob's old place and wait there. You can investigate, if you want, the house of the pub owner. And you can, if you want, go to the address of the residence of Father Kevin. Those are the 3 potential follow-ups that you can take. You can do them in any order you want.
I don't really think
I'm
we
still
should split
thinking-
up. So
I'm still thinking we should head back to my old
That's
place
perfectly fine then.
for a few days to see if anything happens.
Is it large enough for 4 people?
We'll fit.
That sounds, yeah.
Hey,
are we
Oda.
gonna need antibiotics?
Maybe
Brandon, maybe.
maybe a
just
change of
sleeping outside.
clothes. Just making sure.
Okay, so we're packing for overnight. Sounds good.
Okay.
Oda's stuff's already on the back of her bike. It never leaves.
So, yeah, you made your preparations, and it's bigger on the inside, Parky. Yeah, we're having the vibes of Doctor Who now. Clearly.
Before we leave Janine, Brandon would ask Janine, the guy with blonde hair and no feet, what's his deal?
No feet?
No,
No shoes.
Shoes and no feet.
no feet. I'd be terribly interested then.
Oh dear, yeah. I meant no shoes.
He's one of our best agents. We are still trying to understand him because there is, as probably you've discovered, there is something that is not completely as a human biology in him.
No. What's his deal?
What you mean? What's his deal?
Can you set up an interview with him for me?
Yeah, sure. He's kind of
I
busy now.
swear to
He's on
God,
the
if you're
case.
going to ask his favorite color.
Yeah, he's kind of busy at the moment because he's going to go for a case tonight. So more than likely, 3-4 days should be fine.
Sure.
Okay, sure, no problem. She looks very not worried, but puzzled by why you want to have a visit with him.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, you do all your preparations and you head off to Jakob's place. You give the address to Oder because she's going with her bike, and you probably can take a car. I think it's still Brandon that drives.
Yeah. I wouldn't be driving outside the city district though.
Vern drives though.
Okay.
And Oda
Vern
can
would
take one
drive.
passenger.
Am I
Okay.
the one that can't drive? I mean, I shouldn't be driving under the
No,
Under the
influence.
amount
surgery,
of
yeah.
post surgery.
anesthetic and antibiotics that you actually are having, so probably not.
I would say Jakob in the car. Brandon, you can come with me if you want to.
Sure. I'm thinking if we're trying to fit in and attract a gang type element, is vehicles really the way to go about it? Because if we are going to be captured by them, our vehicles are going to be.
You can
Left.
go. You can use the taxi service if you want, but
Does
the
the
Taxi
metro
seems
go
like a
out that
better
far?
idea.
You mean walking the way? Like walking, being out, exposed, seen? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I was thinking the metro and then get off a few stations beforehand and strut it on the street so it's seen that he's got this new cybernetic implant.
Are there stops?
yeah.
Because I'm assuming people in your neighborhood know you.
Well,
Or
it
at
is-
least, yeah, they've seen
well,
him, maybe not know him.
It is a quite of a run down area outside
Yep.
the central of Night City, where
I like to think that a few people would know me as sort of like somebody that keeps to himself,
yes,
But
but
they'd
it's
recognize you walking
definitely
in with
strange.
Yeah.
so yeah,
All right.
you can do that. Yes, you can stop several stops before. Oder she's still going with her bike.
No,
No,
I'm not losing my bike. That's my house.
okay,
Mm.
that's your house.
Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna get parked safely at Omega. I'm not
Yeah,
losing
you can
it.
leave it in the parking lot of Omega
Yeah.
quite easily. And yeah, the journey take a good hour to reach the station, the last station that you want to actually jump off. And when you get out of the station, you see a very derelict part of the city, uh, mostly run down. You can hear sirens in the distance. And there is shouting in the street, but you can't see actually from where they come from. So probably it's somebody's doing bad things around. It will take 15 minutes of walk to reach actually Jakob's house from the last underground station. And you see that is a very modest house. It probably is like a one bedroom bungalow type of house. Very old style. There's nothing technological in this house. It's probably because the outside of Night City has never been touched by technology in terms of house building. So whatever development has been done on the Night City, it hasn't touched the outskirts.
So is it like an old sort of like suburban estate that's
Yes.
just been left to
Left on its
deteriorate?
own. Yes.
So we're talking like Detroit, sort of like.
Yeah. Imagine the Detroit of RoboCop.
Yeah.
So violence in the street, rundown houses, and basically that's it.
Trash can fires.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
See, Oda's fine in this because she's from south of the city, where this is heaven in comparison.
There are hookers, of course, on the street. You can clearly see from a mile drug dealers that are dotting corners of the
just
street.
what everybody needs.
Sorry?
Fantastic. It's just what everybody needs.
Yeah.
Hookers and blow.
Yeah.
Are there any recognizable, like, visible gangs or gang painting, like graffiti on the walls?
Graffiti, yeah.
Yes. You did a bit of research on that, and there is a couple of signs on the let me double check them 1 second. I need to find them. Yes. There is a couple of signs that look like two short swords, not short swords. Sorry. Imagine the hunting knife of Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
So like a large blade with big handle. They are like crossed this way.
Oh, like machetes.
They're not machetes. They're literally like large hunting knives.
Right.
Like Bowie knives.
Bowie knives.
Bowie
Yes,
knives.
thank
Right.
you,
Okay,
thank
yeah.
you. And on the background of these, there is a red hand print. So hand in red with two knives crossed. And that is, with a quick reference, is the mark of the sacred blades.
Okay.
And is this over other gang marks, or is
It's
any
like-
other gang marks like
it
crossing
feel-
over this?
It feels that they are covering other gang marks.
Okay.
So they're claiming territory.
They're claiming territory. And in particular, one is still not wear off completely, they cover, and is a butcher knife in red that is not completely covered. And that one, you recognize it, is the mark of the slaughterhouse.
Okay. So we're gonna do this like The Wizard of Oz, arms in arms, skipping down the block.
Follow the urine-stained road.
Is there
Pretty
a
much. Yeah, I would say Vern would take the 6 to take in scenery and pay attention to anybody trailing them.
Okay.
Even going so far as to lag a little behind.
Or
Like,
they'd
not
take-
pretend like they're all together. You know what I mean? Like, make an effort to not look like they're a cluster of people coming off the subway together.
Order just does her usual of scooting up front to scout 'cause she's used to it from home.
And Jakob would just be walking to his house.
Right.
Yeah.
is there like a street vendor for like hot dogs or like street meat or
Yeah, there
hot
are
dogs or
there are
something?
there are food stalls here and there. Yes, of undisclosed type of meat.
Rat burgers,
Cool.
called it.
Brandon's going to head over to one of those and buy one of whatever it is they're selling.
They're selling hot
as
dogs and burgers.
Cool. Of miscellaneous sourcing.
Okay.
Yeah. So as he pays for it, he's going to remove one of his synth skin chips, and he slides it into his slot, and he activates it, and his old gang signs appear on his face.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
So he's now got 6s and 9s face markings,
Okay.
and he just walks down the street, keeping an eye on and following the direction that Jakob's taking while he eats his hot dog.
Okay. You actually, Jakob, you recollect who the bands are that are, of course, in this area. In particular, you remember who the Sacred Blades are. Sacred Blades is a gang that is basically waging war against the slaughterhouse. And they are posing more as street vigilantes rather than murdering band.
Oh, it's like the Guardian Angels in New York.
Sort of,
Like
yes.
Batman, then.
So they are not evil. They just don't like the slaughterhouse and what they do.
Hmm.
So they're not potentially an on-site enemy if we run into them, per se.
Hmm.
Would they, if we run into any of them, would they be inclined to assist us at all?
Potentially, yeah. Is like they're not. Police doesn't touch them because usually police doesn't touch any of the gangs actively. They don't bother them or anything else.
Yeah, I'm
But
guessing
if-
there wouldn't be much police presence in this.
exactly, there's not much police presence
region.
anyway in this area.
But this would be the closest to having some kind of vigilantism, not necessarily.
Allied, yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What time of day is it? Have we estimated what time
You
of day
are
night?
around 8 o'clock now at night.
How is the visibility on the streets in this part of town?
They are flat houses, so it is quite. There is not very well lit because some of the street lights are broken, but it's quite an open view in terms of there's no big building that blocks the obstruct the view. The road is quite wide, although in parts cluttered. To give you a better image, imagine the streets of Washington D.C. in division.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Potentially, we would have eyes on us anyway because people are always watching in areas like this anyway. So, okay. Vern is just taking in the scenery, and where it's actually poorly visible, she would activate her night vision to be able to see.
Okay. So, you spend the evening in Jakob's place, which, of course, needed a little bit of fresh air, being closed for the last 2-3 days of doing nothing. You can clearly see that there is a large bench with sorts of components, electronics, and everything else. It's basically his working bench. Okay, a bed in the corner, a very small kitchen area, and a toilet. That's all you have.
And I'd obviously be, I'd be going to rest at this point. I'd have opened a window to let some air in, and I'd just be resting.
The windows are next to the front door and out the back.
Or they would just take up what residence in whichever corner was the kind of vaguely cleanest.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any access to the roof at all?
Well, you can climb it. It's not that tall. Is as I said, it's like a bungalow, so it's like a one-story house. You can easily climb on top of it.
Yeah, you could probably just get on top of one of the bins outside.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of potentiality of not being seen and still watch the place, because all four of them hanging out there is such a... I mean, it's fish in a barrel, you know?
You can probably lodge yourself on the roof without being seen.
Then, yeah, Vern would probably excuse herself to shimmy her way up to the roof and roll up her jacket as a seat and perch quietly to keep an eye out.
Okay. Day one, the night goes on normally. Nothing really happens. You can still hear screams in the streets, the occasional gunshot, but nothing too different from what Jakob is used to here anyway when he was living here.
And Jakob gets the best night's sleep he's had since before Omega.
Yeah. Because he actually is guarded now.
That's true.
Well, no, it's more the familiarity of the screams at
He's
night.
home.
Yeah. I'd say Ordo would probably sleep pretty well as well.
Yeah.
He's used to this kind of place.
Brandon would take out his incense that he has brought with him and just
poison the
meditate
room
in a corner.
And Jakob would look at him, clench his fist, and say, "Don't," and leave him to it.
Jesus.
Don't forget who gave you that arm, Jakob.
Omega paid
He'll never
for
let
it.
you forget
Omega
this.
paid for it. But yeah, the night goes by. Jakob, you get a very good night of sleep, only interrupted by Brandon giving you the tablet. And then you go back to sleep like nothing ever happened to you. And the day goes by as well. So you wake up in the morning, you do some sort of breakfast, you go out and scout for resources and food. There's
We just go out to like a market and get some food.
Yeah, there's a mini market nearby, run by the usual sick behind the counter. And you get provision for the rest of the day.
I'd like a cornetto and a Coke.
Yeah.
Just one cornetto.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That one. Precisely that one. And you had to say it, Cross, isn't it?
Hey, at least I'm not the one that started it.
Okay.
This is true. This is true. My first offense.
Your first offense, indeed. It is the day passed almost uneventful. It is 7 p.m. now, and the night is almost has made everything almost completely dark once again.
Does this neighborhood have like Uber Eats, Deliveroo sort of type deal?
I don't think anybody delivers in here, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would risk it. There wouldn't be enough money.
Like not even like a neighborhood like Greasy Spoon.
No, the fact that there's like the food stalls are already there during the day mostly,
Right. Okay.
and they move away. There's still there's still a business with hookers and drug addicts and drug dealers, but they don't want to risk it that much.
So, should we roll on food poisoning?
No, you'll be fine. You've eaten worse in your career.
Okay. Okay.
At
I'm
it is sorry, go on.
sorry, yeah. I'm just thinking if we're here to be seen so that
We need to
they
be
know
out.
we're here, we need to be seen. That's all.
Mhm.
So does anyone want to do a walkabout?
The trip to the market, if there is a marketplace readily available, I would think would be a good diversion during the day, and then
I'm
potentially
thinking at night.
at night.
Hmm.
We need to get Jakob outside. I mean, the rest of us are whatever. So, Jakob, what's to do in your neck of the woods?
Take us to your favorite place to go.
We're already here.
Take us to your second favorite place to go.
He's going to show you the toilet.
I would rather not.
Why?
Is it because it's got blackjack and hookers?
Yes.
And blow.
Precisely.
And there's a problem with this because
Is there any kind of strip joint? Like,
That's
you know
where
what I mean?
it is.
Yeah.
All right, so why is that a problem? We're all consenting adults.
Wait, what's the age of consent in Night City? Because remember, Order's only 19.
There isn't anymore.
Okay, then just
Oh,
fine.
wow.
Jesus.
I'll just cover Otter's eyes.
just take out her eye and just close the other one.
Okay.
So, the moment you decide to set off to try to be visible, it is now nearly 8 o'clock at night. You step out of the door and you realize that the streets are unusually quiet.
oh dear.
You had to see the strippers.
Hookers.
That wasn't my idea.
I like to support local economies.
Well,
In the free market,
that's
somebody
one
has
way
to
of
be
saying
buying.
it.
All those ma and pa stops, right? Yeah. I don't know that there's a stripper Cracker Barrel, but okay.
So yeah, you are not far from Jakob's house. And the streets are very quiet. There's not the usual shouting. There's not the usual shooting. In fact, there is very little in the street in terms of people besides you.
And we would pick up on this anyway, right?
It must be happy hour.
Maybe words got out that we're in town.
Is this normal, Jakob? Like on a regular occasion, are there crackdowns from military groups or the police from Night City?
No. This is too quiet.
Yeah, there's no screaming.
Well, what do you think we should do?
Brace yourselves.
The moment order you say there is no screaming,
Oh, why did I open my mouth?
There's no money falling from the sky.
you
No.
Right.
hear
No snacks.
you hear from the end of the road, visible road of you. You hear a savage scream.
Front or behind us?
You're just exiting from the strip club,
Okay.
and on your left, in the distance, there's this scream coming. And it's a scream, like a savage scream, that ends up in a laugh, hysterical laugh.
I guess that's us. Jakob already said, right? Brace yourselves.
You start to see in the distance, because there's still some light of the dusk that is setting off, and you can see at least 5 silhouettes.
What's around us outside the club? Out of curiosity, like what's immediately around us outside the club?
There is the front of the club is just like literally the sidewalk, and there's a couple of large collector bins, and a post box, destroyed post box, a couple of relict cars, and not much else.
Not a lot of cover. Okay.
Not a lot of cover. I'm gonna say one more thing, is that there is one person, it seems like being the leader of this little group.
I bet he's short, isn't he?
No. But he has the makeup of a washed up clown.
Oh, fuck.
So basically, we've just run into Joaquin Phoenix.
Kinda, yeah.
I hate clowns.
And from the distance, you recognize from the footage of the previous thing to be the jester. The member of the slaughterhouse that was responsible for the murder.
Fantastic.
And
well,
we're going to end here for tonight. Always end on a cliffhanger. Otherwise...
God damn it.
Dun, dun, dun!
So, thank you guys for being around. Thank you for Parky for being an awesome mod as usual during these times. And I will see everybody next week. Unless, I think Katie probably is on holiday, isn't he?
No, I should be around next week.
You should be around, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's okay.
Awesome.
Thank God we've got somebody for the fight.
And thank you to Chris, Katie, Cross Terminal, and Smirk for being around. And let's see.
Thank you.
Thank you as always, watching.
And let's see if we can raid somebody in the meantime to not waste all these lovely people. Actually, Johnny Merps was here earlier. I think. I don't know. Perhaps. I think he
Rings
was.
a bell.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do Ross because reasons. Okay.
Because reasons.
Right, let's send a raid to Ross. And here we go. See you next time for Cyberpunk. Next week, usual time, 8 p.m. For everybody else, have a good night.
Night night.
Bye.
Bye bye.